More emphasis will be placed on the word cooperative in this feature. Sometimes, many Guyanese forget the true name of our country, the Cooperative Republic of Guyana. So sit back and be informed about the happenings in and out of Victoria.
Cooperatives are a unique and invaluable presence in today's world. They help to reduce poverty and generate jobs. They facilitate social inclusion and enable small businesses to thrive. I congratulate you for these contributions to the global common good. The current economic crisis highlights, yet again, your positive role in society. As poor and vulnerable people continue to suffer the fallout, cooperatives have been resilient. They have helped to prevent many families and communities from sliding into poverty. Cooperatives' values, self-help, equality, and solidarity are also a source of stability and confidence. They provide an important foundation for efforts to build a world of decent incomes and decent work. And the member-driven structure of cooperatives roots them in communities, encouraging socially responsible businesses that meet local needs.
On the eastern bank of the Essequibo River, there is a small farming community called Aliki. This agricultural enterprise is owned and operated by its inhabitants, who are descendants from the villagers of Victoria and Ansgrove.
People were like the backbone of the Aliki cooperative movement. People here, they built a boat just off the community center there, and they launched it. It was called the MP Aliki. And quite a few families, husband and wife and children, they went to Aliki in the Essequibo River. Not many of them have been around within recent times. They have passed on. It was a vibrant new cooperative society. They brought back provisions, basketry. They made mukra baskets and clothes baskets and quakes and a whole heap of things used to come back from there to the village and surrounding areas to be sold. That is no longer the case. How well it fares now, I am yet to see.
Founded by the PNC administration, the Aliki Chartered Co-op Land Society boasts a population of 350 individuals.
Yes, it was alive, but to a certain extent. I think when the government attempted to resuscitate the cooperative movement, it had died long ago. It's like the sun having died, but you will still continue to see the light for the next 8 minutes. I think as you reach into the 30s, that cooperative spirit that the village depended upon for its sustenance, for its upkeep, that had gone. In our local parlance, we say, every man doing your own thing. That coming together had taken a back seat. But it was the thing. You had like literally cooperative credit banks where you could go and buy a few shares and then borrow a $40 or $50 to repair your step and this sort of thing. And every village had that. Victoria had one, Golden Governor Barclays had one, Ansgrove had one. And this came, I think, as a result of post-emancipation. People recognized that singularly we were weak, we had to get together to form strength. But the new cooperative movement was good on paper, but it takes the individuals themselves to come together to give it form, which never really existed latterly.
Because we used to be able to feed ourselves here in Victoria, but successive administrations have allowed the drainage system to deteriorate in the village. And in my view, it seemed to have been a deliberate policy of the government to kill the villages or the village economies. And so right now, we have a very hard job to persuade young people to go to the farmland. And so a lot of the farmland is abandoned because of the poor drainage. They are frustrated. Now, added to that, and this is one which is becoming a great issue, the government is bringing people from all over the coastland to take up all the available lands in the adjoining area to Victoria. So in another few years, even if young people want to go back to the land, there'll be no land adjoining this village like in Belfield and Newtonsville in the back for them to use. So it's a myth. Because we can't feed ourselves. We can't feed ourselves right now, at least not here. You see, Victoria is one of the lowest spots along the East Coast. And so, a lot of the water comes here to settle. This village had a series of cokers. There were 3 cokers out there where the pumps are right now. And there was one at Newtonsville, between Belfield and Newtonsville. So between these cokers and the others along the coast, the place used to be drained. But both of these cokers, including the one at Hope, have gone into disrepair. None of them, and I say none, functions. None. Since the previous administration had put in these 3 pumps here, government has gotten lazy and they've depended on the pumps. But even though they depend on the pump, they haven't produced uninterrupted electricity.
I think we must have gone right back in time. 'Cause if this is the 21st century, oh, blackout should be made a crime today.
We are appealing to the government that if he could look into Victoria,
because this was
to see what he could do. This is what the first village that was bought by slaves.
We have a history.
We get it there, the county center out on the road.
With need doing badly. It is in a state.
So, how about recreational facilities for the young people?
We don't have any because it's the
here.
same community center. The things used to be done, right?
The community center need to be repaired. The first thing.
Okay.
It leaking.
No lights.
No lights, no chair, no nothing. The fence breaking down. Everything.
So how about the drains? You guys clean it yourself?
You have to clean yourself. Then the big trench, they send people for clean. Certain times they send.
And then when the people clean it, they don't even clean properly.
Because they are paid no big time money. The people that doesn't even clean properly. They come in a couple of days ago and they spray the thing at the corner of the road. I see nothing happen yet.
Out of the thousands of people who live in Victoria Village, only 100 are farmers.
We have a lot of folks who do fruit farming, like they farm mangoes and bananas.
What type of trees do you have, and is it only fruits?
Well, I've got, as I said, this is sapdilla. You see, we wanted to get plenty of ripe sapdilla at the moment, plenty all over. On top, at the bottom, all around there's plenty of ripe sapdilla there. Breadfruit, mango, and so on, and a few others.
Where do you sell your produce?
Well, people come and buy. People come and they pick, what they want, sapdilla, banana, mango, breadfruit. They usually come and pick.
So, you don't go to town to sell your produce?
No, I don't go to town. I sell to somebody come like who say buy wholesale.
They also farm plantains and cash crops. There's a limited amount of rice farming being done in the adjoining area. But we are trying to encourage people to resuscitate the coconut industry, which used to be very vibrant here in the village. But a lot of the coconut trees are over 60, 70 years old. So we need to have a concerted effort to replant all the coconut trees.
Well, I don't believe that it's a bad idea, but when you go into this, you need outlets, you need markets. Yeah, presently now, I am the only existing factory. Now, my son do a little, but he do it at me. And I do a little. And then, you have a guy by the line, sometimes he do a little, but all of them come here, to grade. But everybody get rid of the factory because, they don't have market for their oil. So everybody close off, but I'm still going a little, And they want people who get a little coconut and want to grate to make a little bit or so, not drums. They would come and I would grate it and then they would carry it and they would wash it and what have you. But in this village alone, they had over 12 existing oil mill.
Where do you get your coconuts from to produce the oil?
Well, presently now, I don't have any direct place because I'm not doing it on a large scale as I used to because there's no outlet for the product. I buy a little, in the area, if somebody pick a little at 500, they would call me. Another person might pick 1,000, they would call you, in the neighborhood or even out of the neighborhood, sometimes in Ansgrove, sometimes in Micah, or anyway, sometimes a person picked a little crop, they would call you. Sometimes they get 1,000, they get 500. That's the way. Now for the past 2 months, I don't think I bought 4,000 coconuts, because there's no outlet, but just waiting for the season when they would be using this coconut oil for the lighting up purpose, the Diwali. Foreign markets demand a certain quality, size and so on. So we used to take even what they are rejecting, we used to take oil and turn it into oil. But the foreign market, you have to get them special nuts.
Is there anything else you would like to add about the coconut oil factory?
It is not a business at this time that, you can really say, well, you're doing it for a living, because you're not getting the market. You can't produce the amount that you can really depend on, but you still try to do a little,
They also grow a fair amount of cassava. But cassava is susceptible to flooding. And so the floods from 2005 and subsequently have virtually wiped out the cassava crop here in the village.
Is there an available market for cassava bread?
No. You don't have any market right now for cassava bread. You get market for I'm glad if I could get a market. I'm glad because you're not going to do it on a large scale if I get a market. But we get in market.
What are the prices like?
Well, right now the cassava is very, very dear. We get in cassava £100. Sometimes you pay 11,000, 12,000. Yes, the cassava is very dear right now. So we cannot do plenty because the cassava is dear.
Is cassava not produced in the village?
No, long ago they used to plant the cassava, but now all the road there, since you plant the cassava, the flood come and damage the crop. Right? So nobody planting now. They used to plant the road. They said, want the road plant up now. The road must open up, you must go in and come out. They dam them and so on. So you can't plant now. So it's a sweet cassava we work in. We got market and we buy it and it's a we work in.
Where do you sell your produce?
Well, I selling right home, but my daughter, she going to the market and sell. But I selling right home wholesale back. I selling it to a lady and she carrying it in Stabrook and sell.
Is there anything else you would like to say about your business?
Well, I will glad to know, if I could get some loan and that this business can extend more. Well, I could encourage anybody to do the work because the work is a good work. But, plenty of people run from this work because they say they eat and the work is very fatiguing. Because you bring the cassava, you got to peel it, you got to wash it, you got to grate it, you got to press it, and then you got to bake it, and everyone you got to put in the sun. And all of that, and if sometimes rains come, you got to run in, run out, and so on. It's very fatiguing.
So we're now trying to encourage again the farmers to go back into farming those two commodities, coconut and cassava.
So, Mr. Poole, how long have you been in this business?
Well, a band commission father in this business, Yeah, for 4 years now.
Where do you sell your produce?
Go to market, big market. Yeah.
What about the village itself? Do villagers come around?
Yeah, people just come by here, sell something, kill a small pig in the village and sell. People just come by. So far, business is reasonable. But right now, the market is very slow. Both the market and big market, very slow because I believe they're bringing some pork from outside. I believe the government imports some pork.
Couple of morning back there, they were talking about the swine fever and all this type of thing. People like that, they migrate from eating the pork and this type of thing. So it never used to sell. So there were a lot of people who had the one, nobody used to come and buy and so on. So everybody try and they get rid of it somewhere or the other. Some people must get despondent, must lose them and and all these type of thing. But what happened after that season, you find there was a shortage because you're mining the thing and you're getting market for it.
We believe the amount of pork in Guyana can supply this country. They can't even export. Everybody calling upon you for they get pick for sale, all over you go. Right? So maybe there is something bad the government doing. Because the pork price going down and the food price going up.
This imported pork were coming in, stifling our market. And what happened? You see, it's not really talking bad about, I won't like to say, well, I'm talking against the government. But you see, during the time when we had like the GMC, used to buy pigs, making ham and bacon and so on, the butchers taking advantage of the situation. You see? Because when they come, they want to take your product, making a promise to pay. When you do carry it, they have so many, $300,000-$400,000 and then pay you. But you see, during the time when the government used to buy your pigs, it encouraged you because you used to go carry your pigs, because I used to do it. And when you carry down your pigs, 2 days after, you uplift a check. Now, if I tell you something with the little pig market that we have, I'm not exaggerating at this time, but the amount of money that people owe you for your pork. And when you're ready to sell, you try to sell it, give them, and they're paying you. That's what we depend on.
getting the baby duckling. We used to go at Nari and buy duckling, but right now you ain't getting the full amount from Nari.
So there is a market fit.
Yeah, there's a market for the ducks. You get a market for the ducks. But you ain't getting the small ones for supply the market. Right now, everybody running from the chicken business because the chicken has some kind of problem. The chicken is dying out. There is one, and the feed is expensive and the chicken is too cheap. So a lot of people running from the chicken mining right now. At least the small farmers around the area, what we know about. Yeah, because you can't pay.
We want to see every village having a vibrant economy. We will work towards breathing new life into our village economies so as to increase economic activities, provide jobs within villages for residents, promote inter-village economic exchanges, and encourage the growth of businesses, large and small, including cottage industries. It is our hope that in so doing, our villages will become vibrant hubs of development. I believe that the revitalization will help to reduce rural unemployment and poverty. We have to make our communities safer and equipped to contribute to enhance quality of life for residents. Improved quality of life cannot just be measured in terms of material possessions, but must also address the need for recreation and the development of the artistic talents of everyone. Special attention will therefore be paid to improving the physical well-being of communities and to develop the skills and talents of residents.
President Ramutas spoke of the village economy. And could you imagine the excitement and sense of satisfaction that we who were part of the Endaba have? Because in our first Endaba, we located the problem as the need to modernize and transform village economies. That what has happened is not that persons are just less productive. It is the fact that the economies have been overtaken by economic development and changes nationally, regionally, and globally. So when the president spoke about that there would be now the thought of investment in the villages to raise the industries there, we were tremendously gratified. Of course, we are waiting for the details because if that were to happen, we are, as we have said, in our first Endaba, if there were the right kind of investment in the villages, we are going to restore some of the pride and some of the economic basis that really supported so many people. Take Victoria, for example. Victoria had a number of factories producing coconut oil. Now, the industries are integrated. From the coconut, you get the feed for pigs, you get for fowls. So you have a number of small industries, and it might be surprising as to the contribution of the little industries to the well-being of a community, including their nutrition, including the fact that women found work within the village, that the work was a kind of work that didn't take them away from their families all the time. Now, those industries are on the out. They have been replaced. There have been things that are happening globally and regionally that nobody had been looking and coming up with solutions to counter change, because we have to adjust to change. So if the president has in mind, and we are sure that the way we read him, is that we are in sync, that if there is that revitalization, some of the industries will come in new forms. There are a number of changes that will be necessary, but that would be a tremendous boost to what villages are seeking to do and what we have been trying to do and achieve through the Endaba.
To date, Victoria is building a monument in honor of their ancestors. The idea of building a monument was brought out of the first Indaba. The monument will depict 4 phases of time, from the arrival on the shores of Guyana to present-day Victoria, and hopes for the future.
The best in this part of the world when it comes to building monuments is Mr. Ivor Tom. Ivor Tom is a Victorian. Now he's working on the 1823 monument, I'm told, and Ivor is the one who has designed the monument to our ancestors. This is not merely a work of art, this is a work of heart, from his heart also, because he is a beneficiary of our foreparents.
Thom was not only responsible for the Damon's Cross monument in Anna Regina, but he also has a permanent exhibition at the Josip Broz Tito Art Gallery of non-aligned countries in Yugoslavia.
The monument is going to be 4-dimensional, and to the north and southern side of the monument will be life-size representation of a man and a woman, to speak of the way villages develop. We're going to speak in modern times that households can only be built by 2 persons. We get a lot of single family, and while we are supportive of them, we also have to understand that that's not the design, and it has its problem. The need for the male figure in the family, in the life of the child, is tremendously important. We need to have that. And it's going to stand on a site that is certainly sacred for us. It is where the slaves were paid during plantation days, and a sacred spot, and how it brings all the history together. And we hope that when people come from all 4 directions of the globe, that when they see what has happened in this little community by brave souls from Africa despite their conditions, that would also be an inspiration to them.
Victoria Village will also be hosting an agricultural exhibition in 2014 to revitalize the village and the surrounding villages. The exhibition was a result of the second Indaba the village held. And that has brought us to the end of our 3-part series on Victoria, the first village to be purchased by ex-slaves. Guyanese history is often treasured by a select few, but unheard of by so many. We will continue to bring you insights of villages on the east coast of Demerara in subsequent series. Thank you for watching.